That wasn't a very good introduction. So, what's up, world? This is my weekly live stream from the Philippines, Cebu City, and I'm here to talk about expats in the Philippines. And it's been on my mind a lot lately. What with the how did I get a like already? No, Bakersfield, California. Hey, Bakersfield, California. How's it going? I'm in Cebu. So, expats in the Philippines. It's been on my mind a lot. I made a video showcasing and kind of talking about my 1 year experience as of end of January. 1 year officially in the Philippines, and I talked about my budget, and I got kind of a lot of flack for that, and people saying that I only lived that way because I couldn't afford it, and just really talking it down. And there are different levels of people that come here. Some people really need the creature comforts, and other people who, especially guys who have like a background in the outdoors, it's really suitable for people like that. When hi Donna, good to see you. I was worried about your partner, and I emailed him and he told me, so hopefully you guys are doing okay. Lily is doing wonderful and the baby's fantastic, and we're loving the experience, so it's really great, and I appreciate you asking. Yeah, different strokes for different folks. I mean, what was I saying? Like I did a lot of camping and spent a lot of time out in the woods, and out there, you're just happy to have a roof over your head and a warm fire and some food. I mean, you pretty much those are the bare necessities, and so guys like that really fit in here, in the sense that they can live in a less fancy, I guess, kind of apartment. Oh, you haven't heard about him? Well, he's doing okay, I guess. It was just a short. I just said, "Hey, I haven't heard from you," and he just responded back that he's doing okay and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have any info. Just he did contact me back and said that he was doing okay. So that's good. So Bakersfield, you brought your wife to California from the Philippines. I did that before, and for me it didn't go very well, but I'm glad to hear that it's seemingly going well for you. For 9 years, I would think that it would be hopefully pretty solid. So when you have that kind of background, you're not looking or seeking necessarily. You're not necessarily seeking the high dollar, high end kind of stuff, and you're content with living like a local. And that's what I've been doing since I've been here. Just been living like a local, and I enjoy it, and I don't feel shortchanged. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but because I've made several videos about it, and to me, it's just I'm to the point where, I don't really need to entertain myself. I don't need to go places and do stuff to feel content. And so that's just my approach. And, to my wife, I'm sure that this is, an advancement, and it's enjoyable, hopefully, for her. And, so we're content with it. She's 28 years younger, and your son is 8. Nice. And we just had a son, ourselves about 6 weeks ago. So we have a 6-week-old baby that was born here in Cebu. So when he gets older, he'll be, have double citizenship and be able to travel to the United States. So, oh yeah, we hope to see you too. I don't. Are we connected on Facebook? You should. You should send. If not, we should get connected on Facebook and try to hook up when you come here. That would be awesome. And by then, the baby will be like 6 months old. So that would be fantastic. So hopefully we can see you. Hello, Paul. How's it going? So that would be great. Nope. Oh, not on Facebook? Well, I think you messaged me or something, but I'll try to get a hold of you through whatever message that you sent me, and maybe we can get connected that way. That would be good. So yeah, we definitely have to see each other again for sure. Yeah, that'd be good. So there's different levels and different tiers, and like I always say, when you come here, you have to find your level of comfort. And I don't know the disconnect with these guys. I mean, these guys that they just shoot down everybody who does something other than live in an IT park and pay $30,000 a month for their apartment or their condo or whatever. So it's a benchmark. Like if you're not paying high dollar for your living environment, for your dwelling, then you're some kind of there's a lack. They see it like as you're not good enough. But to me, like I said in the video, you're only living once. Okay, Donna, yeah, message us, and we will definitely get together, and we'll go have some good food, some seafood. Hopefully like that all-you-can-eat seafood place in Cebu City. It's pretty good. We'll take you there. So it's just, it's like, and some of the people that say these things, they're not even here. Like they maybe visited a couple of times, and they think they're experts, and they think that they know everything, and they'll just attack you for what you're doing, just because of it's kind of the cool thing to do. You see it on forums. They'll see it on Facebook groups, and they're like, oh, you're poor, and but what am I trying to say? You got one life to live, right? You got one life to live, and you probably have some unfulfillment. And if you can swing coming to a country and staying for an entire year and make it on that, how many people actually do that? How many people got the balls to pack up everything and go and try to live in another country, by any means necessary, especially given the state of the West and all the crazy crap that's going on that is just going to snowball and get even worse. Expat Ian, hello, good evening. Um, yeah, 101 Buffet in Cebu. I'm not sure if that's the place that I'm referring to, but I've heard of it. Um, I didn't watch his live, but I did watch his video on Calvin the other day. Um, what was up with the live that Mike had? I'd be curious. Hey Bruce, how's it going? You've been to the Philippines 6 times. Nice. Yeah, I've been quite a few times before this myself. I had a long stint of about 2 years, and then I left for a little bit and came back for almost another year, and then this time I've been here a year. So I've got about 4 years, in different increments, long term, plus several smaller trips, smaller like a month or 2 weeks or whatever. Budget war with an English expat. Interesting. So it was pretty hot and heavy in there, I imagine. I know he's been talking a lot about Calvin and Sunshine Shoulders on his most recent stuff. Yeah, but so it's to me it's just important to live while you can. A lot of people are like living like zombies, like the Walking Dead, and they're the Invisible Man, and they're not they're just droning on through life and experiencing nothing and feeling that lack, that emptiness inside of them. So if you can have the balls to pack it all up and live, this lifestyle in a completely different country, and however you can do it, why is that even need to be criticized? Sure, if you fall apart and you end up, stranded or something like that, then that leaves a lot of room for criticism, right? But otherwise, if you come here and say you have to leave and come back after you make more money, so what? Do you have to have a steady 9 to 5 job and 300K in your bank account in order to go live in a different country? I mean, ideally that would be phenomenal, right? But if you don't have that, like me, who's been through 2 failed relationships that literally drained everything that I got both times, how are you going to really have a huge savings? And I had good jobs. My last job was just kind of a throwaway job, but it paid pretty good. I owned a $400,000 home, which is now worth, I think, like $600,000. I was doing darn good, managing property and pretty successful. I also owned a coin shop on the side, and I made good money doing that, which enabled me to actually quit the property management and do it. But anyways, it's foolish for people to criticize others who are living life on their own terms. So tomorrow on our Philippine journey, all right, I'll check it out. Yeah, I'm sure. Bruce, no problem. Right now, I'm paying less than 80. What is it? It's 3,500 pesos. So that's, I don't know, like what, 70 something dollars a month. And it's a spacious kind of place. Not bad for the price. Now, just down the road from me, I met this guy, an expat or sorry, I think the expat term gets thrown around way too much. Some people are just here to capitalize. They should call them capitalists. But yeah, sure, no problem. But just down the road from me, literally 5 minutes away, there is an apartment building, and each one of those units is 6,500, and they're 2 bedrooms, and they have an upstairs and a downstairs. You know, 6,500 pesos for a 2 bedroom. That's 130 bucks, I think. 130 bucks. So I mean, you don't need to be spending, you know, $500 a month. I mean, sure, if you're spending, you know, 1,500 in the United States, 500 is just a fraction of it, right? But it's not really necessary to do that when you can find more affordable places that are pretty nice. But I get it, you know. That's the thing. I'm not criticizing dudes who want to live the high life. You know, I'm not at all. But I get a little bit defensive lately, especially on my group. I have Philippine expats group on Facebook, and these guys just tear you to shreds if you're not paying $30K a month. So, private education. Yeah, I mean, more hands-on is what you're doing, Bakersfield, and you can have more control over the curriculum, which is what we're going to do with our son when he gets of that age. And in fact, you know, I'll probably teach him how to read before he's even 3. He'll probably know how to read a lot, and yeah. So, you know, there's many options. You know, I went out to lunch today with my friend. He has a nice place, and he pays a lot more for it. But he's also, you know, got a good pension. He was, you know, career military man, and he's retired now, and it's within his means, and that's what he needs and wants. So, and he's happy, you know. So, am I going to criticize him for that? Absolutely not. That's the whole point of it. Don't sell yourself short, you know. Speaking of tall, I don't know if he'll be so tall, because, you know, it's a mix, like, of tall and short, because my wife's only 5. She says she's 5'3", but she's really 5'1". I measured her. So 5'1" and 6'2". I'm not sure where he'll end up. Maybe 5'10" or something. My first son, who's, you know, grown and everything, I'm 6'2", and his mom is 5'8", and he's only 5'10". So who knows? Who knows how that'll all work out? But regardless, he's going to fare pretty well. I'm going to set him up pretty good. So he'll have the brains, hopefully the looks, and hopefully the means to do whatever he wants. And that comes through, you know, hard work, dedication on my part, and setting him off on the right foot so he can go out and get off on the right foot. So, yeah. But yeah, not everybody has 30K a month. I mean, yeah, I mean, 30K a month is, what is that? I think is that 700? Wait, 400? No, 600. 600 bucks a month. You know, like I said before, it's a fraction of what you're paying in the West, but you can find better deals than that. You really can. And you don't have to live, you know, like I do. I mean, if I paid 10K a month, my place would be sweet, you know. 10K a month is 200 bucks. If I was paying 200 bucks a month, I know of a place in the subdivision right over here. And those places are Western style. They have a pool. They have private basketball court and all this, all these amenities, and 10, 12. They have different tiers of apartments, but you can get into a one bedroom for like 10K, and it's gated. They have noise ordinances. Nobody's burning garbage. No, they have garbage service. So it's more westernized. If I was paying, 10K a month, my place would be like that. Right? And there's no need to spend that much. Adjusting to the sounds of the neighborhood. Yeah, man, it's loud. But with the newborn, I'm up. Dude, I was up from I was up all day, and I got him to go to sleep at like 2:30. He woke up a.m. He woke up an hour later, and he was awake until 8 a.m. and then he fell asleep for 10 minutes and just over and over and over. So I'm up constantly at all kinds of weird hours. So when I crash, I don't hear nothing. They don't wake me up. But if I'm trying to go to sleep and the dogs are fighting and barking and stuff like that, it's a little annoying. But I'm so tired that I eventually just fall asleep anyways. So there's Gare. What's up? Hey man, how you doing? Hopefully you had a good week. So yeah, no, I like it here, and I know everybody in this barangay anyways, so everybody already knows me from, because I walk around, and they all know that I'm a vlogger. I say, hey vlogger, Philippines Extremes, that kind of crap. So I just fit right in. The only difference is I'm right on the road, but man, I mean, like, if I walked outside right now, you'd hear how quiet it is. After 10 o'clock, everything shuts down. People are pretty respectful about the noise ordinance. They were doing karaoke all the way up until 9:45, and then it just stopped. So now it's pretty quiet. Yeah, Bruce, you can you can definitely find that. Definitely find an apartment in that range. I have two apartments that I showcased recently in my videos, and they're both about $80. The one right down the road, I think you would snatch up. I think anybody would, and that one's like $130. So there's a lot of wiggle room there. In Cebu City, if I was getting this apartment, it'd probably be close to 10. Because we looked, at other places that were in Cebu City, and for what we had over here before we moved to this place, it would have cost $6,000. It would have cost $130 in the city. So, and we're only eight and a half minutes away from the biggest mall in Cebu, SMC side. I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's a huge mall. 8.5 minutes. So right over there, right across the ocean, 8.5 minutes, and you're in Cebu City. It's a perfect location. Cordoba is a perfect location. And I went to Cebu City 4 days ago. I went in there and braved the CC Lex and the taxi and all that, and I had to pick up some stuff and do some stuff there, and it's just so much different. Cordoba is like being in the province or something. It really is. And a lot of people don't like that, and that's fine. But I don't want to live in New York. Cebu City is like it's not as bad in New York. That's not fair. But it's super crowded, a lot of traffic, and a lot of people. Here, it's really tame compared to that. So, and Gary, your dog's the culprit. Yeah, I have a dog too, and my dog also barks. But so down there at the bottom of my steps, it's gated, right? And my dog can't get out, and my dog's not fixed. So I'm like, okay, no, she can't get out, other dogs can't get in. The other day, I went to leave, and there was a small dog, male dog, inside. Some just climbed right through the bars, fit right through them. So I don't know how long they were there. My dog's in heat right now, of course, and I don't think they had the opportunity to get jiggy with it or whatever, to get busy to do the nasty. But so I went quick to the hardware store and bought some stuff to make it so that no other dogs could sneak in through those bars. So that was interesting. Foreigner built a house on my wife's lot and he never checked the boundary line. Really? That sucks. So what'd you do? That can be a huge can of worms to have a big old property, a big old property dispute. Sorry, I was laughing at day after pill for the dog. Yeah, I think it's okay, but no, it wouldn't have been okay if I just left it that way, because I'm keeping her outside pretty much all night. I'm trying to teach her to not pee and poop in the place. So she's getting acclimated out there, so she knows where to go pee, and then maybe she can come inside and test the waters. So you got a lawyer, and did it all get worked out? Hopefully. What a jerk for not even checking in on it and just building on your lot. That's not cool. So, Philippines is amazing. Like I was talking to this foreigner guy the other day, and I was saying I just love it here, and he doesn't like it so much. He doesn't like it nearly as much as I do. So it's really not for everybody. But that's the whole point of it. Come and check it out, and if it's your cup of tea, then you're going to thrive here and you're going to love it. And if it's not, I mean, well, at least you tried something. You checked it out. You investigated it for yourself, right? So, like I say, I'm sure there's other places in the world that are fantastic and phenomenal. Other areas of Asia, other parts of the world, but for me, I found it here, and I really don't need to go out and shop around, go country hopping to shop around to see what I would want. I'm content here, and my kid's here, my wife's here, and that's all I need. I don't need anything else. So Scott was here last month, and Seaside Mall was great. Yeah, it's huge, man. They got everything. They even have an ice rink in there. So was that your first trip here, Scott? Or you been here before? Yeah, I've also seen that happen before. Land disputes where they even do try to do due diligence, but the paperwork is so archaic, and the way the property lines are set up, it's hard to decipher. So they end up making mistakes. It's tough. It's tough. So is Bakersfield Northern California? Bakersfield. I think it's more Northern California, right? It gets kind of cold there, doesn't it? I don't know. I would, I spent time in Alaska, and my mid California. Second time there, Nice. So, are you working your way up to maybe retiring here? Um, oh, South California. Used to stay in Cordoba. Um, Per says he used to stay in Cordoba at Cebu Home Village Resort. I don't really know where that is, but Cordoba's nice, right? It's pretty it's pretty chill, and you can hop right over into Cebu City and get anything you want and need. So I like Cordoba. Um, you're gonna retire here next year. Awesome. That's great. I'm glad to hear it, man. Um, it's an awesome place. There's so many cool places, not just Cebu. Um, but Cebu is definitely a cool place also. Um, Logging will do that. That's for sure. Yeah, I know a lot of people that did logging. I lived in a small town, and the main industry was logging and cattle and wheat farming. So yeah, logging is a is a tough gig. Be tough to be a logger. That's for sure. Bakersfield is still Southern California. Yeah. Well, so hopefully your shoulders don't get cramped living down there. Pretty warm. Oh yeah, it is. It's definitely one of the most dangerous jobs. That's cool. Yeah, logging. That's my saying. If you're not living off the earth, there. Growing and mining are almost ingrained in humans. So I always say if you can't grow it, it must be mined. And you're not growing the trees, but you're harvesting them. So, and in some cases you are growing the trees, I imagine. But yeah, man, it's your life to live. Grab it by the balls and live it, and don't listen to the naysayers. And even your family members will try to deter you. Oh, you're gonna get robbed, and you're gonna lose everything, and everything's gonna fall apart for you. And don't listen to that nonsense, because that's all it is. Um, Palm lumber, me? No, I'm not a logger. Although I did have to go chop my wood every year when I lived in Oregon, in that small town. But I just had a chainsaw. I'd go out and cut. I'd mostly just cherry pick off the ground, pretty much, fallen trees. Palm lumber. I mean, yeah, they use pretty much whatever they can get their hands on. They'll use it. As far as what they use for construction and whatnot, I'm not sure if it's palm or or what. But I would imagine that's the most common, right? You're from Oregon. Oregon! Yes, sir. Me too. Born and raised. Although my last job was in Washington. My brother lives up there and he had health issues, so I went and stayed with them and kind of helped him recuperate and worked while I was there. Chainsaw crew in Montana. I did some mining in Montana outside of Missoula and Helena. Yeah, years and years ago. Yeah. Yep. So I've mined all over, all over. And Missoula's cool. I have some friends there, and they own a trucking business there. So I've been there a couple times over the course of my life. But yeah, Montana is rugged, and they got bears there, but that's okay. Um, Lived in Portland, Oregon as a kid. That's where I was born, in Portland. What area of Portland do you live in? Um, so, yeah, I mean, it's generational, right? You know, people tend to. It's a highly skilled trade, and you know, as things are dying out, it's becoming few and less people who are really really good at what they do. And that's when the accidents come in. You know, your aunt and your uncle and aunt and cousins are from Missoula. Nice. Actually, the people that I know, I met them. I grew up with them in Portland, and then they eventually moved their trucking business from Portland to Missoula. But yeah, Westmoreland. That's where all the ducks are and the swans and whatnot. That's a beautiful area. It's a cesspool now. I couldn't believe it. 2 years ago, I went to Westmoreland. Um, was it 2 years ago? Yeah, I went to go get a hotel room, and I couldn't find one that wasn't like too scary. And I thought, well, I'll just go park at Westmoreland and wait out the sun, and then I'll wait till the sun rises, and then go down to Southern Oregon. And Westmoreland was just homeless camps everywhere. Couldn't believe it. Yeah, logging is definitely a dangerous job, and even the most skilled of workers, you know, fall prey to accidents because of, you know, those anomalies like the tree cracking and the wrong spot and whatnot. So, without a doubt, much respect. Yeah, no, it's terrible now. I would not want to live there. I mean, once they decriminalized narcotics. They decriminalized all narcotics in Portland, maybe all of Oregon. I'm not sure, but definitely in Portland. And you know, you got all the cartels. They're like, oh, cool, we can, you know, hide under the radar right there. So, piece of property. Oh man, that sucks. Poor dude. That's not cool. So, you know, Portland is just falling apart, and then you know, all the murders that are going on there, like just crazy. Montserrat. Hello, Montserrat. Hopefully, I'm saying that name right. So yeah, I mean, and yet, you know, another reason. Like, if you come from some really cool area, you know, and your town's not overrun with crime and drugs and whatever, it's going to be less of a reprieve when you come to the Philippines. But man, I was just surrounded by so much filth and junk, and coming here was like, oh yeah, this is way more chill, way more safe, and made the transition a lot more pleasant. Yeah, undoubtedly. If you find that egregious in an environment similar to Portland, the Philippines is a huge contrast to that, undoubtedly. So, you know, and people are just so subdued and you know, in their own little bubble, because everybody's afraid. You know, everybody thinks that if you walk up and talk to somebody in public, they think that you want something from them. But here, you can walk up to anybody and start talking to them, and they'll gladly try to talk to you, even though they're speaking, their native tongue is different. How to not get killed by a skinwalker? Well, if you live in Portland, you may get killed by a skinwalker, metaphorically speaking, because there are just a bunch of zombies there. Well, Montserrat, thank you for that. So rock and roll. Yeah, I went over to the mall today with my friend and his girlfriend, because he's leaving the Philippines for a month. He's going home for his son's birthday. So we wanted to get together before he split. And we took the baby and went and had lunch, and it was really, really nice. A lot of people out and about. Good weather today, not too hot, kind of overcast a little bit, so those days are always nice. It's overcast and a little breeze blowing, so it's a nice break from the scorching hot sun. So that was cool. Little Ocean, hi. How's it going? North Dakota to California for the hot weather. Nice. I've never been to the Dakotas. Never really been further than Colorado. Like the edge of Colorado. So I've been to pretty much every state in the West. Yeah, I've been to every state in the West, but never past Colorado. That's where I was mining. So, although I do want to go to do some prospecting in the Carolinas someday. That would be cool. But I'll never do that. This is my home now. I drove up through Canada in a big rig with all my mining gear a couple of times. Hello, Stevie boy. Yeah. I'd love to check out that area that you're there. That's in Leyte, right? You got gold in Leyte, by the way. So, prospect. Absolutely. What happened to my face? Why it looks like that? Age, genetics, who knows? Some people just aren't gifted with the beauty and the glam. Philippines is rich, and they're not mining it, and the way they are mining it is, so rudimentary that you come here with a simple machine and you can do pretty well. Mindanao is loaded. And so is Luzon and a couple other places. Hey, what's up, dude? Good to see you. The beauty is breathtaking up there in parts of Washington and Oregon. And it's so diverse, You got the mountains, the desert. I mean, you can literally do everything. You've got the ocean. You've got beaches. You've got desert. And you've got snow skiing. It's all available to you. You live in those areas, Oregon and Washington. So if you like to get out and do stuff, you got a mixed bag of choices. So yeah. And every time I see, I haven't prospected or done any kind of camping. I'm an outdoorsy dude, right? So I see stuff and I'm like, it just gives me the thirst. I want to go fishing. I want to go hunting. I want to go put my pan in the creek. So I'm itching to do something like that. I see some video from that area in the Pacific Northwest, or Colorado or Nevada or something, and I'm just like, man, would love to get out there and just hang out in nature. Seattle to Bakersfield, that's a nice drive. Well, if there's a will, there's a way, Gare. And there's ways to do it, undoubtedly, with the right crew and the right forms of protection. Wow. Sandhya Sayonara. But yeah, no, I mean, loose lips sink ships, and you got to go about it very, very carefully, and you keep your mouth shut, I imagine. My Sigma. Come on now. No, I'm beta, man. I'm a beta male, can't you tell? What's up, Majo Travel? I have not been to Mindanao. Good evening, morning to you, and blessings to you as well. Sayonara, treetop, cutting off your crown. Sigma, apples, oranges, and all whatever, who cares? Weekly nose of energy. You walk on a fine line. Treetop down. Adios. Hello and good morning from Puerto Rico. Man, Puerto Rico's cool too, huh? My buddy's sister just moved to Puerto Rico. They bought a place there, and he's always talking to me about it. He wants me to visit, but I probably won't do that either. There's a lot of things I wanted to do, but now I'm doing this, and I'm fine. What's my NAM? My NAM? I don't know. Not sure. Some people call me Rumpelstiltskin, or a son of Byford, brother of Al. No snow, that's right. It's tropical there, and a little bit. It's more expensive though, for sure, than here. But actually, I almost went there, but I decided not to. That was a good choice. I was talking to some people who were doing some missionary work from like a hurricane they had. I almost went and did that. Yeah, no passport because it's a territory. Same with Guam too. You don't need a passport to go there. And Guam's awesome, but it's expensive in Guam. Very expensive in Guam. And then the jobs suck. The minimum wage is really, really low. And hey, Carlos, good to see you too, man. I had a great time, man. That was great. It was nice to get out. Nice to have some American chit chat and touch bases. And I'm looking forward to when you get back. We can hopefully get together Maybe we should have like a barbecue or something. You can come over here and we'll cook cook up some good foods. Yeah, people from Puerto Rico for sure. Carlos. Um, yeah, everything's expensive, right? Everything. I mean, in Guam, the gas, they have to ship it on tankers. So gas prices are insane in the States as it is. In Guam, it's even more. Um, when I lived there, I basically could. I had a pretty good job though. I sold jewelry, because I'm a treasure hunter. So of course, I needed to be around treasure. So I sold jewelry at this high-end jewelry store in Guam, and but even still, even though I was making more than the average Chamorro is the local people, I was still struggling. You know, you're a Christian, and your name is Nisha. Well, that's good. I'm glad to know it. Well, my name is Ben, and I'm Philippines Extremes. Puerto Rico's a place to check out for sure. Just ask Carlos. What is the main thing to do in Puerto Rico, though? Just hang out at the beaches and eat good food. Boston. Yeah, never been there. Never been to the east part of the states. Made jewelry. Back in my hippie days, when I was hitchhiking around the West, I made beaded stuff and traded it for like weed and gas for my car or whatever, but not like nice stuff like gems and whatnot. Just semi-precious stuff like quartz and amethyst and hematite and things like that. But never made anything, from like the stuff that I found, like platinum or gold. My thoughts on combo. I don't pay attention to the news. I try to stay out of it since I'm, living over here and whatnot, because there's nothing I can really do about any of that stuff. But I did hear a little bit about it, and I'm all for dissent. If people want to rise up and try to get things done and change, then by all means, I would be joining that convoy for sure. But I don't know the premise of what they're doing. But I hear they're over in Germany and whatnot. They're also protesting. So I'm all for it. Everything's so corrupt, and it goes so deep. We don't even have any clue. I mean, bros, I remember I think it was 1980, Mondale and Ferraro were the nominees for, I think, the Democratic Party, and they were going up against Reagan. And their premise for their diatribe was the same as the next group of people, and abortion and rights, and the same crap, lower taxes. And people are just like, yeah, it's going to change. This guy's going to change, right? It's like that old Who song. Here comes the new boss, same as the old boss. It's true. Nothing ever changes. In fact, they just figure out loopholes and things that they can do to get, richer off the backs of us, literally slaves, Don't get me started on that crap, because I can go deep into it, but I ain't down for it. Politics is just a waste of time. And you hear all these dudes, they are so vested in it. I'm a staunch Republican, and my father was a staunch Republican, and we're gonna change the world, and you ain't gonna change jack, sucker. Nothing changes. They're just weaseling their way in so that they can get more and more and more of what you got. That's all it is. And you can't fight that crap. So why, frustrate yourself and saturate yourself, funneling all that stuff into your brain when you can do literally nothing to change it? All it's going to do is it's going to alienate you. It's going to frustrate you. People are going to call you a conspiracy theorist. They're going to call you, tinfoil hat wearing mofo and all this crap, right? But it ain't about nothing. It ain't about nothing. There's nothing you can do about it, right? So live your life. Stop wasting it on nonsense. It's a distraction from you funneling the right kind of energy into your spirit, and for you to become better. And I'm not talking about better, financially or anything, just a better person. You wrote your brother's name in the last election. You don't believe that, hold on here. I gotta go back, I missed something. I don't think government should tell women what to do with her body, between her and her doctors. I really don't want to get too involved in all that crap, but again, let's harken back to like the 90s, right? 90s, you could go and get an abortion, right? Up to 3 months. You had 3 months to make your stupid decision whether you wanted to terminate that pregnancy, right? You had that, right? Now they're having people who are aborting their babies at 9 months. Kids can live at 6 months, right? So, man, I don't even know. And they're trying to fight for post-birth abortions. So the baby gets born and then they can abort it? This, by the way, is getting demonetized. You can't talk about this kind of crap. But anyways, so who cares? I don't care. I don't make money on YouTube anyways. But, so they're fighting. I saw this bill the other day where a woman can give birth to the baby, say she doesn't want it, and they can abort it. Isn't that called murder? Like, if a young girl of 15 or whatever, she has a baby, she's been hiding the pregnancy from her family, and she ditches the baby in the garbage can, she goes to jail for like 25 plus odd years, whereas, you can be in a doctor's office, delivery room, whatever, give birth, and say, I don't want that baby, and they'll kill it, and you don't go to jail for it. It's all ridiculous. All ridiculous. So, to me, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I think a lot of that is just crazy. It's just crazy nonsense. Anyways, sorry about that. We're on ivermectin. Oh, it's horse paste, man. That molecule that they found in Japanese soil that helps like with blindness and all kinds of other parasites and whatnot is just for horses. Give me a break. They've cured people's eye issues, with ivermectin. It's not horse paste. It's literally something, you know, that many different species can benefit from. Primarily humans. The functionality of it is extremely diverse. You know? Ivermectin. Give me a break. You know, you can buy ivermectin in the Philippines, and I bought it. Only thing is it's for chickens. But what's the difference, right? I don't know. The ivermectin on the government, on the gov. I don't know, man. I don't think anything works on the gov. So anyways, I think I just probably got flagged or something for all that crap. Now, river blindness, exactly, right? Exactly. There's multiple uses for that. And the fact remains that people used it and they got better from it, right? Anything, cannabis, you know, all these different things that are controversial need to be explored. And, you know, they didn't want anybody to explore it. So, yeah. I ain't down with the C19. C19 was a psyop. This is a bunch of crap. That's all it was. They wanted to see who would kowtow, and were they, was it possible for them to do a full-on takeover? And what they discovered is, no, it's not possible yet. But it'll peter out within the next couple of generations, you know? I mean, think about it. They stuck masks on little babies and told them that it was fine and not to bow and not to resist, you know? My grandfather used to stand on a soapbox and protest because they weren't paying him, you know, $3 an hour. Am I vaxxed? Heck no, I'm not vaxxed. You know, I literally waited until the quarantines were over in Cebu. I was going to come when it was quarantined. But, you know, they shut the Philippines down, and I'm like, darn it, man, I wanted to come here. But you needed a vaccine. But I knew it would go away because it's the Philippines and they need tourism. And most of the people that come to the Philippines, all the crap that I'm saying right now, they agree with. I met so many people that are like-minded in these things. Right? So, in this country, most well, there's a couple dudes that I met that weren't down with what I'm saying. But most of the people that I met did exactly what I did. They waited for the quarantine or the mandate to be lifted. Some of them came during the quarantine and quarantined for 1 week in a hotel room because they didn't take the jab. And, you know, and then they were free to go, you know, come into the Philippines. But then a lot of dudes waited until all of that was over with and, you know, had to wait it out until, you know, the non-vaxxed, the lowly non-vaxxed could travel freely. Yeah. Nope. I wrote a letter for a friend of mine who was working in a care facility, an exemption letter for the vaccine, and they were mandating it at his care facility that he was working at. And he was, you know, kind of a hick, and he didn't know what to do. And I'm like, I'll write you something. I'll write you something right now. So I wrote it this, like, 2-page vaccine exemption letter. And do you know every one of his coworkers wanted a copy? So he turned it in, and he said no. He didn't give any copies out. That's what he told me anyways. Because I told him if he gave, because he's like, should I give it? And I'm like, well, if you do, it might dilute it because it's just all, you know, going to be... they might think you just printed it off the internet or something and handed it out. But I wrote a pretty hot letter. It was pretty much fire, and they approved it. He didn't have to get the vaccine when all of his other coworkers did, and he didn't. I lost a lot of friends during that time. A lot of friends, a lot of family members. Literally, two of my cousins started debating me. And listen, I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Biden fan. I'm a freedom fan. And I don't vote. I've never voted, and I never will. I'm just, I'm for humanity, right? And people who see so many things as black and white, right? So most of the family members that dropped me, they started calling me, a Trumper or a Trumpster or whatever the crap they called it, just because of my views. And I've had these views since I was 14 years old and before, And I don't support either one of the sides because, in my opinion, they're both as corrupt as can be. If they weren't, why don't things get better when one side or the other is in power? Nothing gets better. It's only gotten worse. Look at the state of the country from the time you were a little child. Look at the crime rates and the tax rates and everything that has just grown exponentially. The divide has just gotten bigger. Crime has gotten worse. The amount of money that is made from the proletarians has gotten even worse. I mean, give me a freaking break, man. When my grandfather was raising his kids, he could afford to put his kids through college. His wife stayed home, didn't have to work, and he bought a house on one income. We can't do that anymore. Those days are long gone. And they just separated it. And now it's becoming, now you got two people working and they can't even afford rent. They're not affording a mortgage. They're not able to afford rent. Vanch Pro. Shut up. Well, that's called, scroll on by, sucker. It's a simple thing for you to do. Just scroll. It ain't about nothing. We don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear what I have to say? Simple solution. Kick rocks. Sorry. I guess that's not very nice, is it? Okay, I'm getting all fired up. Sorry about that. That's not very kind of me. I apologize. Don't kick rocks. Stick around, listen, and let's help each other learn. How about that? I got some of the old me coming out. Walmart worker said to me, "You don't have to wear a mask if you have a medical condition." I told her mine is mental. Yeah. I was fortunate. I lived in a small town, and there was two grocery stores with a 20-mile distance between the two. One grocery store was mask mandate, and the other grocery store didn't say jack. I would drive 20 miles in the snow, uphill with no shoes on, no snow tires, to this other grocery store all the time to buy my groceries because they let us have free faces. The only time I wore the mask once in the entire pandemic. You know what it was? When Trump handed out all that money, a lot of people turned it down, but I'm gonna get you, sucker. When Trump handed out what was it called, the stimulus, I was like, yeah, I'll take that money. So I got a bandana, right? One of the old school Jesse James kind of bandanas. I put the bandana on and I went to Bi-Mart, and I went in and I bought a 30-06 and a 9mm with Trump money. I wore that stupid. I felt like I was robbing a train or something. That's the one time I wore a mask. So I can't say I didn't comply because they wouldn't let me in without it. So I'm like, well, I don't have one. And they had little bandanas. So I bought a bandana, slapped that on, went in like Jesse James, bought my guns. That's what's up. Well, it's a true story. I mean, I'm not embellishing it. You can think whatever you want, but that's exactly what I did. I didn't have to comply. I didn't need to. So I don't know if I missed a bunch of comments when I was going all off on a tangent there, but yeah. Got in through Cebu without vaccination, served towards the end of it. Nice. Make like a rubber and roll on. That's right. Word up. I know, right? I did it a little in reverse, but you know, it's still. I felt weird. Like, it's so stupid too. Like, I put that on, and then you know it just fell off. And while I'm doing the transaction, because you know there's a background check, so I didn't get the guns. They called me like 6 weeks later, and then I had to go back after I passed the background check. It was the longest list in Oregon history during the pandemic. Everybody was buying guns. Because honestly, when it first hit, I thought the world was ending. I didn't know what to think. I thought it was going to be, you know, martial law and all this crap. So I stocked up on ammo and everything, and I was armed to the gills. And then I got that stimulus. I'm like, I'll take it. My buddy, my neighbor across the street, is like, I'm taking that money. I'm like, give it to me. No, but I went, you know, I used that money straight up. Went and bought me a ton of ammo, and I mean there were limits, but I hit the store in the neighboring town had no ammo limits, so they would call me and they'd be like, yeah, we just got some new 9mm in, blah blah blah. You want them? So I'd go in and I'd pick up the shells, buy everything they had. The face mask stuff, I mean, I lived in a cold town, right? When the pandemic first hit, I saw these people, you know, donning their masks, and they were standing out in the cold, and they were talking to each other through their masks. And, you know, you could see their breath just coming out of the sides of it. But think about it. All these little babies, these observant little babies who are looking at the world, you know, they saw all this and it became normalized. The next couple generations are screwed. They ain't gonna dissent. They're not gonna rebel when they hear something that they don't like. They're gonna tuck tail, stand in line, and say yes, sir. The masks while driving, I saw some people riding on a motorcycle with masks on. You know, whatever. And let's get real here, okay? In the real pandemic in the early 1900s, they discovered literally by accident the hospitals, and that was a real pandemic, right? That was a real deal. People were dying by the millions, right? So what they discovered by accident was these hospitals were overcrowded. There was nowhere to put them. So what they would do is they would take the poor people who couldn't afford anything. The rich people got the privilege of staying inside the hospital. The poor people, they had no place to put them. So they started putting them outside. So these people were dying on their gurneys or whatever they gave them outside. They actually got better at a higher statistical rate than the people that were inside. Why? Because they were getting fresh air and sunshine, suckers. They were getting fresh air and sunshine. And that's what I was telling people, all these people, go outside and breathe. You know, you got to stay 10 feet apart or 6 feet apart or whatever the crap it was. whatever fake number they conjured up. You know, these people, you can't go anywhere. You can't be close. Go outside, get some fresh air, and get some sunshine, fool. Did you even read about it? When that first thing hit, when COVID hit, it all seemed suspicious to me. I went back and I read as much as I could about the first pandemic. And that's fact. Go look it up right now. Literally, the people that couldn't afford to be in hospitals, they've shuffled them outside thinking, oh, what are we going to do with these poor people? They can't do anything. They actually got better. A lot of them. Just from being outside, not being, thrown in germs. And then, here's another thing about this pandemic, okay? The pandemic of 2019. They were sticking ventilators down the throats of people that had chest colds and giving them a drug that they gave in Africa that was proven to be highly toxic. Remdesivir, right? So they're sticking a tube down people's throats, a ventilator, and then giving them remdesivir. Remdesivir was already proven to be extremely toxic. And these people were dying. Whatever. Okay. Next. Oh, they're going to kick me off YouTube now. Run fast. Fauci. Give me a break. I don't know what I said in my last live. Was it last one? I said something in my live either last week or the week before that got me, that video got censored, demonetized, and lowered on the algorithm. As though I'm high on the algorithm, right? Give me a break. So I didn't make 30 cents off that video. So this video is definitely going to get flagged too. I don't even know what I said in that one. I didn't go back and watch it. Give me a break. I don't want to hear myself talk. Because they don't tell you. They didn't tell me why it got demonetized. They just said it got demonetized for sensitive content. And advertisers wouldn't agree with it. Yeah, man, read it up. I scared you. Well, I tend to do that. I do that to myself, too, especially when I look in the mirror. I'm like, what happened to you? How'd you get so old? What's up, Wayne? Where are you from, Wayne? What are we talking about? Oh, man, that's a can of worms. We're talking about whatever you want to talk about. We've been talking about a bunch of tinfoil hat wearing stuff, I think. All my likes went away. What's that? Wales? Nice. So you're going to be coming to the Philippines there, Wayne? They already got me, it looks like. They took away all my likes. I'm in big trouble now. Yep. Canceled me like a succotage. You will. Well, good. I hope you get over here as soon as possible and experience it. See if you like it, and then keep on coming back. Stay as long as you can. Experience it. Radiation closed, aka tinfoil. Yeah. Man, that's what sucks. You know, you can't get deodorant in the Philippines that doesn't have aluminum in it. I was looking on Lazada, but I couldn't find it. But you can buy non-fluoridated toothpaste on Lazada. I ain't down with using that fluoridated Crest crap and Aqua Fresh. I could go off on a tangent on fluoride too, and aluminum, but I'm not gonna. It's already got all my likes taken away. Fluoride, radio wave blocked clothing. You know, there is a natural form of fluoride. It's a mineral. Yeah, the industrial waste, it does concentrate the fluoride. For a lot of years, people were saying it was nuclear waste. It was a byproduct of the Manhattan Project or whatever, which essentially what it can be is, you know, it's just when they're processing chemicals and things for industry, the byproduct comes out, the fluoride comes out. But you can go mining and be in a area with high the fluoride mineral. Baking soda and coconut oil for toothpaste. Yeah, that's good. It's not very flavorful, but who cares, right? Yeah, I ran out of my my Lazada toothpaste, and I just used baking soda and water and nothing else for quite a while, until I finally got a delivery driver that would actually deliver it. I had to order it like 3 times just to get one tube. Oh, now my likes came back. Sweet. I'm safe. I dodged that bullet. Well, man, this thing is kooky. Now my likes are gone again. That's whack. Crisco oil is a byproduct. All that stuff is nasty, man. All of it's nasty. Vegetable oil, everything, you know. And they lied to us about what causes heart disease for decades and decades and decades. Inflammation causes heart disease, not eggs and cholesterol and crap. Man, isn't that the case? I'm always upsetting them silicone suckers. Them fools just got it in for me. They got their finger on the button as soon as they see me actually realizing that it's Saturday. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna get him." See that? Shh. We won't even say it. We don't talk about that. Capico. It's like Fight Club. You don't talk about Fight Club. Chuck Palahniuk, or whatever the crap his name is. Man, here's to put it into perspective, okay? And this is kind of an extreme kind of scenario. Talk about Bruno. That's right. So I'm over at Gisano the other day. I had to get some, I don't know what I had to get, but I had to get something at Gisano, right? So I'm about to go in, and I see this huge white guy, huge dude, walking out of Gisano, and he's got a cane, and he's really, really old. So I make my way up the stairs, and he's standing there, he's winded, and he's holding on to the guardrail, and I'm like, hey bro, how's it going? And with this huge southern accent, he's like, ha, nice to meet you. I'm like, hey, where are you from? And he's like, from Kentucky. So I start talking to the old guy, and he tells me he's 80 years old. And he's 80 years old, and he sold everything that he had and came to the Philippines because he's sick of America. Absolutely distasted it. But he had, like, no help, and he couldn't even walk. I mean, I think I was telling Carlos about that guy. But he had the balls to come do it. He said, if I get too sick, I'll go back. But I've always wanted to do it. I'm 80 years old. I got enough money. And I just wanted to come here. He said, I came here, and if I can stay healthy long enough, I'll enjoy myself until I die. And I won't die in regret. He literally said that. This was just the other day. Now, that's exactly what I was saying in my last video. Don't live in regret for things you didn't do. Right? That's what I told him. I told him he should hire like a caregiver. And he actually said that he was looking for it. So I had to help him get a taxi. He couldn't even walk to the taxi. I had to hold his arm. Nice guy, really nice guy, but he's having a tough time, and he was going to give me his phone number, but then he got in the taxi, and I forgot about it, because all these Filipinos came to help too, and you know, they wanted the tip. They're like putting their hand out or whatever, so got a little distracted, so I didn't get his number, but I really, really wanted to stay in touch with that guy so I could help him out so he didn't get taken advantage of, but I didn't get his info. But point for mentioning it is that dude is he's got the cojones to actually do what he wants to do despite all his ailments. Cool cash. Arrivederci, my brother. Want to get a piece of heaven before he dies. Exactly. I mean, you know, why not? Like he said, he's got no family, had no friends. All his neighbors that he knew, you know, in the house that he owned forever, all died. It's all these young whippersnappers, as he referred to them, that moved in. He's living alone, literally. So he split, came here, and despite all those things, despite him having trouble moving around and everything else, he said that he was happy. That's all it's about. Sure, he could have went to Puerto Rico, right? He could have went somewhere else, but he came here, and he's loving it. Exactly, you know? You like Carlos nailed it on the head, you know. So many people die with regret of things they didn't do. It's not necessarily the things they did wrong. Sure, sometimes, and most of the time, a lot of time, right? But even worse is you didn't chase that dream that you wished you would have. You didn't do that thing that you wished you would have. You didn't fulfill that. You didn't do any self-fulfillment. So he's getting it. Despite all his ailments, despite his age, despite his issues, he's getting it. And everybody else needs to too. It doesn't have to be here. Be anywhere. Even in your home place. Wherever you are. Live what you need to live. But I got kind of lured in. One of the first movies that I saw boobs in was Blue Lagoon with Brooke Shields, right? And there was those two kids that got stranded on the island and in the tropics. And ever since I was a little kid, I always, man, I can't wait. When I get older, I'm going to go to the tropical beaches. Well, working, my whole life, I never did it. I never went anywhere that was tropical. Lived in the Northwest. The ocean's freezing cold. Hey, I ain't about to go freeze my nuts off in the Pacific Ocean up there. That's crazy talk. Well, I never made it to the tropics. So, I did. I made it. And I love it. And you can too. You can do it. All you dudes out there that are not pushing it. So push it. Fulfill your dreams and create your own happiness. You were going to go to China and then you ended up in the Philippines. Well, it sounds like it was a good choice because you ended up finding yourself a wife and having a kid. So it was a good trade. I was talking to a truck driver that speaks pretty good English the other day, and because on my vlogs I always talk about the people, right? I always talk about how everybody's so friendly, and I said to him, it's probably not like that so much for you. It's probably just like it would be for me in the States. Everybody kind of keeps to themselves. There's probably the foreigner kind of element that makes them so friendly to us, right? And he told me no. Actually, everywhere he goes, he can talk to people he doesn't even know, and they're always helpful and they're always friendly. He says he don't talk to the drug addicts. He called them the drug addicts. Say your name. Your name is Adios, muchacho. So according to him, it's not just because we're foreigners that everybody's so friendly. According to him, in general, people are just that way here. Even though the Filipinos, because like I said, I thought it was just like foreigner to Filipino because we're foreigner and we're different and they want to engage with us and stuff. But according to him, it's that way with everybody here. Which isn't that crazy? I mean, they're working, 6-7 days a week, 10 to 12 hour days for pennies on the dollar, and they're finding happiness and the ability to be friendly. Whereas in the States, everybody's working, making varying amounts, 15 minimum upwards to, sky's the limit. And everybody is standoffish and disgruntled. I don't know. I love it here. I love it here, and I wouldn't want to go anywhere else. I really wouldn't. And when and if I go back, it's going to be a sad day for me. And each day there, while I'm slaving away for a few bucks, is going to seem like it's twice as long. I won't be able to wait until I get back here. The small town is that many? That's quite a bit. That's a lot. But that gives a good outlet for your wife, so she has a social life. They're actually OFWs, so they got here on a work. They got there on a work visa or their K1 visa or marriage. Uzbekistan. I don't know. Like I said, many, many good places. Philippines just happened to be where I came from. I was in the state that I really just was unhappy with everything, and I didn't have massive connections with family or anything. And I just came at the right time for me, and everything was much more fulfilling than the situation that I had when I was there. So. North Dakota. Well, so they're actually advertising for teachers, and then they pay for a work visa, like a OFW, or they're immigrants, and they just all work there. It's amazing how many Filipinos actually work in places. I mean, once you come to the Philippines and then you go back to the States, it's like you see Filipinos everywhere, and you're like, wow, you're Filipino? Yes. You speak a little bit Tagalog or whatever. Back then I didn't know Bisaya. I still don't know Bisaya, but I knew a little bit Tagalog. And I'd say, oh, konti lang, and they'd be like, oh! Where did you stay in the Philippines? You know? But especially in the medical industry, yeah, it's because Filipinos work their butts off here, and they go to the States, and it's like a cakewalk, comparatively. And they'll say things like, they'll see homeless people, and they're like, what's wrong with that person? Why aren't they working? There's so many jobs here. They don't understand it. Oh, it's a good opportunity. That's why I made that video. Why Filipinos shouldn't come to the United States, but I also noted that most Filipinos that do actually go to the States are actually very successful because they have a phenomenal work ethic. $35 an hour is nothing to scoff at. That's a pretty good wage. They don't like to hire us old fogies, man. We've aged out of it. Well, we can always be hookers. I think we probably get $35 an hour for being a hooker. They don't talk about ivermectin. Well, it's the best kept secret. They feed it to their chickens. Hooker with a bad back. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? The most difficult thing I've been doing since I hurt my back is sitting. It's the weirdest thing. Sitting for long periods of time, I regret it. After like an hour, I'm dying. Like right now, my back's gotten a lot better. But right now, I'm starting to feel it, like getting really tight. So I keep leaning forward and trying to pop it. That's what happens. Car rides kill your back. Yeah, long ones, for sure. I ain't as young as I used to be. Somebody decipher this sentence for me or not, but it's stuck in my head. The moon is glued. Cane? Shut up, fool. I don't need no cane. That would be my weapon, my secret weapon. Anyways, the moon is glued to pictures of heaven, and all the little pigs have God. Think that one over for a minute and let me know. Filipino people take dewormer. Yeah, I mean there's medicine that you can take for parasites here, and they don't just take it like willy nilly. They'll take it if they have an issue or whatever. That's kind of scary though. Makes you wonder, like, did you eat some of that pork that didn't get the parasite killed? Wasn't cooked enough? Maybe we all got the parasite floating around in us after a few years of hanging out here. I don't know. I tried to score some actual human grade ivermectin from my dentist because he said he had connections. And so I waited and waited and waited, and eventually he never got me any. He told me, just go on Shopee. So I went to Shopee, and they got it all banned now. You can't buy it. But you can buy ivermectin for the animals. I don't know if you want to take it or not, but it is available. Ivermectin, it's in a powder form. It's not paste. But it's a little funky. I don't know if I would want to eat it. I mean, I would eat it in a pinch, I guess, if it was an absolute emergency. But I ain't gonna eat it for no reason. But I bought some of that stuff because there's so many dogs here and cats that have parasites. Man, I can't even go outside here without feeding a new animal. So I'll go out here and at my old place too. I bought these packets of ivermectin, and my neighbors had these two dogs, and they were, first, how, well, when I first moved there, the dogs were like mean to me, all that crap. But I won them over, and then they were friends to me, and I could pet one of them. The other one was more standoffish, but I could pet the other one. And sometimes they would escape. And they'd be gone for like 2 weeks out, finding ladies and doing what dogs do or whatever, being dogs. And they'd come back and they'd just be sickly and whatever. So I'd take some of that ivermectin and I'd put it in some food and give it to them. And you could tell, like, within, 2-3 days, they were already getting better. So that crap works on dogs for sure. You bought the horse paste and you take it. Right on. I mean, it's just a microbe, right? So I took my cat in to get his nuts chopped off. Forgot about that. That was an event. So I'll tell you a little bit about that, okay? So when I found my cat, it was 2.5 weeks old. I have a video on YouTube. It's a short video chronicling the whole terrible experience. Check it out. I found this 2.5-week-old cat. I didn't know where to take it, so I said to a tricycle guy, take me to a veterinarian nearby. So he took me to this veterinarian. The guy tells me that it's a female and that it's probably going to die. And I'm like, all right, thanks. But he gave it some antibiotics. It had like pus leaking from both eyes, and he said it's going to go blind and all, horror story. Okay? So, 2.5-week-old kitten. The reason why it was going to die is because it needed breast milk from its mom. It was too young to be, off the tit. So, I bought, a little syringe dealy bobber, and I nursed it. And I, cleaned its eyes and did all this crap, Nursed it back to health. Still alive to this day. But he told me it was going to die and that it was female. Okay? After I had the cat for like 3 months. Oh, I forgot the important part. And I said to him, so how much would it cost to fix the cat? And he said, well, it's $12,000 for a female and $10,000 for or $10,000 for a female and $8,000 for a male. Okay? Neutering and spading it, right? So, when I moved to this new apartment, my cat was going insane. He was making this how noise all night long, waking up the baby, driving me crazy with this cat bark, essentially, right? So I'm like, okay, I need to get this cat fixed. So I went on Facebook, I messaged a bunch of veterinarians in Lapu-Lapu and around. I found one place that did it for $2,000, so significantly less than the $8,000 or $10,000, right? Oh man, I forgot the other part too. So the dude told me it was a female, right? Well, after about 3 months, I noticed this little dingling popping out of my cat, and I saw some nuts growing. So the veterinarian told me it was $8,000 to fix a male, $10,000 to fix a female, and he told me my cat was a female, so I was thinking it was 10,000 peso. So I said to myself, I'm never going back to a veterinarian that doesn't know the difference between male and female, right? So my neighbor says that he wants to get his cat fixed too. So we should go together. So I made an appointment, and dingling discount, exactly. So I made an appointment for he and I both to go. I told the wife how much it was, $2,000. She said, oh no, I know of a place over here that's $1,500. I'm like, okay, cool. So she called and she made an appointment for me and for their cat. Okay? So when it was my turn to go to the appointment, I just took a trike. And I hopped on the trike and I said, take me to Harborside. Do you know that it was the same veterinarian that I ended up at before? Same veterinarian. For $1,500 when he told me it was 8 to 10K. And he didn't know the difference between a male or a female. So normally when that skin tax, or that long nose tax, as I call it, long nose tax, is enforced upon me, I don't argue with them. I don't get in any kind of, exchange with them or haggling or nothing like that. I'll usually, like if it's for some vegetables, I'll just pay the money and I'll just go to somebody else that I know that won't do that to me. So in this case, I would have never went back to that dude because he lied to me. And yeah, maybe, right? As if I wouldn't have known, when the big eggs in the sack, started growing, like protruding, Of course I would have known that. It was too young to do it at that point. So I would have had to come back, 3 months or 6 months or whatever. And by then, of course, you can tell if it's male or female. So this fool was like off the charts with his little skin tax scam. No long nose tax. So I just, I would have never went back to the dude. But I didn't know that that's who she made the appointment with. right? Skin tax coupled with incompetence. Yeah, you were telling me about a couple instances that you had recently that were just completely unfair and ridiculous. And it happens. I mean, Carlos can attest to the fact that he's been a victim of the skin tax himself on a couple different occasions. And I won't speak for him, but one of them was pretty much a scam. Said they did something that they didn't even do. A lot of people do that. But even Carlos tried that, and it didn't work for him. They still tried to pilfer a few pesos from him. I think they, they eventually kind of know who's who, I guess. I don't know. But it happens. A lot. Yeah. Trikes can be a mixed bag. But since I don't really venture out too much, all the trike guys around here know me. So they give me a pretty fair deal. But I always pay too much on purpose. But watch my little video on how to avoid taxi and trike scams. It's a good starting off point anyways. If you don't know where you're at, ask somebody else, a local, at the store or whatever. How much would it cost me to go from here to there? They'll tell you. And then you get in and you pay that. Even still, I'll hop on a jeepney sometimes and say the fare is 13 to 15 peso to 15 peso depending on where I'm going, right? So if I don't have coins sometimes, and this has happened to me like maybe 3 times, maybe 3 to 5 times, I'll give like a 20 peso note and I'll just be sitting there. And, everybody else is handing up their coins. I'm handing the coins to the driver, waiting for my change, and the fool doesn't give me any change. Now, I don't argue it, but it's pretty disrespectful, right? Most of the jeepney drivers, when I give a 20, they give me the 7 back. But sometimes those fools will keep my 7. Yep. It's a good approach. Ask somebody local. They'll tell you what's up. And then when they try to skin tax you, you already are armed with the knowledge. And you can say, you don't even need to say anything. You just, when you get out, you give it. And they won't even try. Some of them will. Depends, but I don't know. It's tough. Depends on who you get. Dumagetti, when I was there, they don't have a taxi system there. So it's all, after dark you tend to get the more seedier element of people, especially the taxi drivers, man. If you're in Cebu City and you want to come to Cordova, forget about it. You're gonna get these dudes that just want to charge you. They won't even turn on the meter. They call it Pacquiao for some reason. They'll say Pacquiao. And at first I'm like, what? You want to fight? What do you mean Pacquiao? But that basically means no meter. So if you hear them say Pacquiao, it's not because there's a fight coming up or they want to, box with you or something. That means they want to negotiate a price from here to there. Pacquiao. I don't know. I've asked people what it means, and they say, it just means, they're not turning on the meter. Yeah, but why Pacquiao? Does Pacquiao have a definition? Yeah, I mean, 8 division world champion. You ain't got no hope in that fight. You fixing to get knocked up out. So, you know, that's what's up. Well, you know, I aim to please, my brother. I aim to please. It's always entertaining. It's just usually you and me. They're the only people here entertaining ourselves. Then we get bored and we're like, oh, let's talk on Facebook. Then we never talk. Woo! My doggy. Word of advice when you're in the Philippines, don't forget to take your garbage out, because you gotta wait a whole another week and there's nowhere else to put it. There you go. Hey, later on, Carlos. Good to see you today, and safe travels. Get in touch with me when you come back, and hopefully we can get together. Let's barbecue. Make some good food or something. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you soon. Yeah, man. Let's when you come here, Paul. Let's definitely hook up and make some grub, some good grub. I was just pricing barbecues when I went to the mall with Carlos today and his girlfriend, and he was shopping, and Lily had to feed the kid. So we were gonna shop too, but you know the kid was fussy, and so anyways, she went in there, and I was standing there, and there were all these barbecues there, and I saw a little hibachi for like 999 pesos. Yeah, man, we got to do it. We'll have a cookout and cook up some good foods, and you can make me one of those awesome salads that you were telling me about. That sounds good. I haven't had a real salad, for quite a while. But now I know where to get the ingredients because you told me. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. No, wait a minute. So your multi-cab, or what did you say before that? You took a multi-cab from point A to... Yeah, I'll be here. We'll be here all day. Yeah, nothing going on. Just hanging out, feeding the baby, and doing our thing. I don't think I'm going shopping or anything. So yeah, I'll be here. I'm glad that now you know how to get here. So I'll definitely be here. So I look forward to seeing you. I get a surprise. That's great. What stressful thing should I worry about if I decide to rent out a house in the U.S. while living in the Philippines? Well, I have a property, and mostly the stressful thing is, are they going to pay you? I think we were talking about that before when you were here. From Dumaguete to somewhere in Negros. That's a long trip. Yeah, I mean that's the primary thing is if you're far removed from it and they start being deadbeats, and you're dependent on that income, that can be a huge problem. So one way to eradicate that fear is to get a excuse me. get a property management firm. Usually they charge you a percentage, like 10 or 15%. So you can just jack up the price. So if you're renting for 1,000, make it 1,100. That way you get your money back a little bit. You're not losing as much money. But a property management company will literally do everything for you. They'll collect the deposits and the rents, and if there's any damages, they'll be the ones that fix it. If there's any issues at all, they handle everything for you. As long as you're in a big enough town where the property management company will take your property on. So that's what I would do if I was going to do that. Yeah. I was unable to do that because my town is so small and it's in a rural area that it gets snowed out and people don't want to go to it. So I couldn't find a property management company that would take it on. But you being there in Washington, hopefully your property isn't in bumfart Egypt. How about that? And that way, you can get a firm that would oversee things. But other than that, there's really not much you can do. But that's pretty much a foolproof way, a surefire way to take care of it. So through a property management company. I mean, when I was property manager, I did that. Yeah, and the whole squatter thing and whatnot is a can of worms. You get him a deadbeat like that, and you're in litigation for who knows how long, and fighting and wasting money and everything else. But that's where a property manager, will come in, and they'll do a reference check and a background check, and if they have, any outstanding bills from other places where they skipped out or anything, then they're not a good candidate. So a property management company will screen them out. Of course, that's not foolproof. Everybody can turn deadbeat, but typically it ups the odds of you getting a higher caliber renter. A lawyer? Yeah, I mean, can do that. If he's trustworthy, right? Hopefully she knows this guy. I was just talking to Carlos about that. Some attorneys are felonious, and they'll stretch the case out as long as they can, just because they make more money filing motions. And no, of course not, Paul. I would never do that, man. What? Who do you think I am? But so you're at the mercy of everybody. So like I told him, and I'm telling you now, is it's better to go to somebody that's been referred to you, like they've dealt with him and they know that he's reputable. Just with anything, even in the States, right? You want to get a reputable person, and preferably even better if you know somebody that's used the guy, so they can confirm whatever it is. What doesn't a carpenter, an attorney, an electrician, et cetera, et cetera. Roy. That's perfect. So a referral is definitely helpful. So that's preferred, definitely. So that's starting it off good. That'd be a good approach. And in animation only when I was on psychedelics, and that's because I was seeing things. But as far as like any kind of software crap, dude, I can't even, when I get a new cell phone, I don't even know how to connect my accounts to it. So I'm not tech savvy at all. So no, I didn't dabble in any of that digital animation crap. I thought you were going to ask me if I've ever had a dab. No comment. I'm pretty disappointed because I still have this phrase going on in my head and nobody even bothered to take a stab at it. I'm from PDX. Goes without saying, right? That's what you're saying? Well, you're right. So I'll say it one more time. The moon is glued to pictures of heaven, and all the little pigs have God. Pretty big city, 3-bedroom house down Spokane. Yeah, for sure. If it's in Spokane, there's tons of property management companies. In fact, the company that I used to work for, I think, has storage facilities there. I wouldn't recommend going to them because I think they sold out to somebody else. But there's definitely options in Spokane. My cousins are from Spokane. It's funny, I went to Spokane when I was my second residence is north of Spokane. Oh, nice. I went to Spokane in 1990. And I got my first tattoo. And I went to my cousin's house, and I'll never forget. Back then, people weren't really getting tattoos, right? Unless you were either in the military, like a veteran, like a World War whatever, or Vietnam. And you had the Marines, the obligatory Marines tattoo or whatever. Or you had some jail ink or whatever. So I had a tattoo, and everybody was like, "What did you do? Are you on drugs?" And all, you know. And now everybody has tattoos, man. So I was a tattoo pioneer. Let that sink in. I was one of those people that like pushed the boundaries, you see, and I helped the culture adapt to tattoos. That's my mark on the world. You're welcome. Four roosters as pets in Dumaguete. Nice. When I get a better situation, I want to have animals like that too. AI to take tats off of female models. Man, what you talking about, Willis? I went and I had this tattoo. It's all faded, right? You can see the video. I thought, see, I was coming to the Philippines to do Philippines Extremes crap. So the first thing I did was, one of the first things is I went to a tattoo removal place. And I had them laser this crap. Don't mind the cat scratch. I was trying to give my cat medicine after he got fixed, and he's having none of it. But that was the most brutal thing ever. Watch the video if you feel like it. The thing... Oh. Ha 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 ha, Paul. You're a funny dude. But it is kind of funny. they zap you, tit, 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 and each little tit 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 hurts like a mo, right? Hurts bad. And not only that, it bleeds profusively all the way home in my taxi. And I had like blood dripping down my arm. And I still got the tattoo. It's just faded. Now it looks stupid. But I ain't gonna go back and do that crap ever again. Hurt. I'd rather have the tattoo. You got a tattoo on your calf? Well, you can thank me for opening up society's mind to tattooism, because back then a lot of people didn't get tattoos, so no problem. You're welcome. I'm joking. I got quite a few tattoos. I was going to try to get as many as I could removed, but after doing that one on my wrist, forget about it. That crap ain't worth it. I ain't down with that, you know what I'm saying? A drunk, one-eyed guy. I bet that's a fire tattoo, huh? You know, the tattoo that I got, totally cheesy. I picked it out of a book, and it had two little ribbons where you could put blank ribbons, and you could put words inside. So he asked me what I wanted to put. So I said, I was really into like music and stuff, and I said, I'm getting to that. I said heavy metal. So he spelled heavy metal wrong. And afterwards, me and my friend, you know, we're walking out, and he's like, what does that say? And I'm like, it says heavy metal. He's like, no, it doesn't. It says heavy metal. I'm like, are you kidding me? And this guy was 70 years old and probably a heroin addict or something. He was in a tattoo shop. But the dude, you know, obviously wasn't reading a lot of books, you know what I'm saying? So, and that was well before spell checker. You know, we're talking 1990, my brother. And he misspelled heavy. That happened to me. True story. Well, back then, you know, those places weren't regulated very much. So, doesn't surprise me. The place was called Sea Tramp or something like that. On Broadway Street down in downtown Portland. Doesn't exist anymore. It's really a sad kind of thing. That was heart of Portland. Groundbreaking. Sea Tramp, I did indeed. G Money, and then grandma's name below that. Nice. Kind of like a tribute. I want to get a tattoo right here saying Philippines Extremes. I know, I was going to say something along those lines, but you beat me to it, Bakersfield. Well, you got to raise it with somebody, right? Bum, 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 bum. Okie dokie, docs. Well, we're 2 hours and 16 minutes into this fantastic live experience from Cebu City. And as sad as it is, it's getting very, very late. Wait, hold on. Regular guy. Excuse me. Local in Mindanao told him to get out. Well, I'm not sure if that's where he was when he created all those waves. Regular guy got into hot water because he was drunk and live streaming, and he asked a Filipina to show her boobs. Right. But I'm saying in the past he did this, and I think it was in Mindanao also. So maybe that made waves. I know that on other channels, and people were mad about it. And even there was a channel called Expat Trash. They made a video about Regular Guy, which has now been taken down, and so that got exposed about him and got him into a lot of hot water. So that's why a lot of people don't like him, because he was, quote, exploiting Filipinos, end quote. So it could be that made the rounds, and the local person heard about it and was like, hey, you're disrespectful, get out. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but Regular Guy's made some waves off of a couple videos that have made him distasteful to some types of people. But I started watching Regular Guy when I was in the States, and he only had like 10,000 subscribers or something like that, and now he's just blown up like crazy. I ain't fixing to blow up, because I ain't fancy talker like that dude. And man, making videos here is a nightmare. You know, when I sat out there and did my last video, I got interrupted like 50 times. Hey bro, how's it going? You know, I'm like trying to do, freestyle here, talk, and then I lose my train of thought. His only revenue is YouTube. I would like to get to that point. Abandon everything and just do YouTube. But again, I ain't as, fancy and fresh as old Babe-Rooney dude. But I know he's very vocal about his only revenue being YouTube. And I wish my only revenue was YouTube. We need to chat at the barbecue. Well, of course, I'm not going to just sit there and stare at your cute face. We'll be having some chit-chat. Some chitter-chatter. You got 3 videos? Can you delete them? No. I don't know. I need to do like controversial stuff. Make people mad. Make them mad so they comment. In order for us to have a barbecue, I got to get one of those hibachi thingy majiggers. I saw them 9999, or sorry, 999 at Casano, which means I can probably find them cheaper somewhere else. So less than, like $20. How do you get it to me? Well, when you come here, man, just buy one and fill it up with food and hightail it on over. Simple as that. Just make sure you put food in it. Dan, doing himself, so should you. Just do you. I do me, but regular guy is definitely more appealing than the crap I try to do. And he's good at the video editing and crap, and storytelling and all the good things everybody says. Which I got some good stories, but they're not really Philippines appropriate. They're not really related to Philippines. But I have a crazy past with a lot of crazy, cool, funny things. Regular guy got nasty, huh? I'm gonna have to go check that out. Well, thanks, Dan. I remember you saying that before, that I should focus on doing music, but I never really went down that route. That video that I posted that you were telling me about got a copyright strike, so it's restricted in several countries, so a lot of people can't even see it. So I don't really know how to work around that. So that was a deterrent, so I didn't really explore that. But I appreciate that. Thanks, man. That's nice, man. You've seen a lot of the country. She's seen more of the country than even I have. And you buy the barbecue first. What? What's with all these requirements all of a sudden? Man, I'm just trying to relax here. I ain't looking to go hopping around trying to score a barbecue and whatnot. We'll go together. That's one thing too, is I don't watch a lot of YouTube stuff because I don't want to repeat what they say, like a lot of people don't like sunshine shoulders, right? And rightly so. I get why a lot of people don't like him, and there are things that I don't like about what he has to say too. But he also says a lot of things that I agree with, but he says a lot of things I don't agree with. So the things that I'd like to roll off say are things that he said 1,000 times, and several other YouTubers too. So I get in this kind of thing, like I don't want to be like copying people, when really it's he don't own the thoughts and other people don't own the thoughts. But I've had these thoughts, since I've been coming here for 10 years. So I've had the thoughts too, and even before I came here, I was on forums for 2 years before I even came here. So all the things that the boots on the ground thing, where Sunshine Shoulders made a shirt of it. That's not his phrase. That was an old phrase. People, you don't go to the Philippines and make an opinion until you have boots on the ground. That's the old Philippines addict for him. Regular guy was advised by a local guy not to go down a particular dark street. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's all pretty affordable. I just don't got my bank card. I'm going to have to do a wire transfer from my bank into Lily's bank, and it's going to cost me $100. I've been putting it off, I was hoping I'd get my card so I could save. I mean, I go to Western Union, it cost me $8. I don't want to be spending $100 for a transfer. So I've just been letting my money dwindle down, going, oh, hopefully the bank card gets here, hope the bank card gets here. But rent's due, and I'm going to need to pay for other things. And so, got to bite the bullet, and I just have to pay the $100. So I can't even access my bank, which is kind of good. It means I haven't been spending, right? So it extends my trip a little bit. But no, I need the dough for the. Oh man, I got a big issue coming up. Actually, my immigration and my passport is expiring in November or October. My passport's expiring in October. And you can renew your passports here in the Philippines, but it takes 6 to 8 weeks. But and my immigration, I have to go in March. So the timing of it is just terrible. It's terrible. Means when I do an extension, I can maybe only do it for a month, or they might not even extend it for me because by then my passport will be expiring in 6 months. So I'm gonna go to immigration on Monday and talk to them, Monday or Tuesday, and talk to them and see what they have any advice, because I need to send my passport out. Charles Schwab. Why that sounds familiar? It's like a mortgage guy or I don't know him. Charles Schwab. You're right. I do need to find my niche. I just don't know what it is. Mostly, it's just I guess advice that seems to resonate with people, or if I talk bad about another YouTuber, seems like they like that crap. Well, timing wise, it's terrible. See, because it takes 6 to 8 weeks to renew your passport. Okay, I have to re-up my immigration in the end of March. So if I sent my passport off now, it might not get back in time for when I have to go extend my visa. So it's too risky for me to send it in right now. So I have to wait and until after I extend my visa. But if they only give me, I don't know how it's going to work. Because my passport, your passport needs to be valid 6 months, right? And by that point, it won't be. Oh yeah, it's a banker. But I thought you were talking, I know that's what I said, it's a bank, ain't it? But no, I don't have that, so not much I can do about it now. But moving forward, that's something that I would definitely look into. But anyway, so my passport, so March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So right there is only 7 months left of validity on my passport. So that's a problem. So they give me 1 month extension. Sorry, I need some water. They give me a 1 month extension, and my passport takes 6 to 8 weeks to get back to me. I'd be overstayed. So I got to go talk to them and see what's up. I don't know. And none of this would have happened if I would have just had my bank card, because you have to pay it online in order to do it. Or they have this PayPal. They'll take a PayPal payment, but I can't put money into my PayPal account. It's only 130 bucks. I can't put 130 bucks into my PayPal account to pay them so I can renew my passport. So, I've just been biding my time. Oh, my card will get here. My card will get here, but it hasn't. So what do? So now I'm debating getting a hold of my bank and saying, cancel that card. Send me a new card, but send it to my sister in Guam, and then she can send it to me, on a reputable, because she already told me she'd do it, like a courier or something. DHL runs here, I think she was saying. So I'll use DHL, and then I'll be guaranteed to get my card. But by then, that's 3 weeks plus. So it's just a stupid issue. I don't know how to solve it. But I'll find out from the immigration people. Well, I don't really have a way to pay them. That's the problem. So, yeah, I don't know. But I should talk to some of those people, huh? I actually do a referral service for Filipino visa. I bet you they could give me some information. What would make good content? Your visa resolution. Viva la resolution! Yeah, I could definitely make a video about that. Amazing Philippines channel. He's in Cebu. I don't know how to get a hold of any of these people. If you ask the wrong questions on YouTube in a comment, YouTube deletes it. Like I say, I'll go on somebody's channel and be like, hey, you're in Cebu, let's collaborate. Almost every time it gets deleted. By YouTube, not by them. I mean, something as innocuous as, hey, let's collaborate. And then they delete it. YouTube. Algorithm. Because it's spam. Oh, well. Yeah. I agree. If you can execute it, in a good way, then, your experiences can be helpful to people. But it all just depends on the factors. It needs enough clicks and it needs enough comments. The comments boost it. So if people are commenting on it and they're liking it, comments and likes boost it up, and that way it gets kicked out more to other people, and then you get more clicks. But without people making comments and hitting like, it really doesn't get kicked up into people's feeds. comment bot. I don't speak that language, man. I got the IQ of like 60. Especially when it comes to techie crap. But I think that's grounds for getting in trouble on YouTube. So now that you said it, we can't do it because they'll know. They'll know we're up to something. And they'll ban you. And you'll never be able to watch another regular guy video ever again in your whole life. Don't we all? I mean, he's a real dude-a-rooney. That guy's a real dude-a-rooney, man. He's a real man's dude-a-rooney man. I am Korean. Guapo-rooney. I am Ako Americano. Ako you Korean. I went to the mall today and I saw a lot of Koreans in the Philippines. Ako Americano. It means I am American, but I live in the Philippines right now. Cebu, more specifically. Koreans, yeah, definitely. They own a lot of bars. And even in Cebu, too, they own a lot of massage parlors. And also the Chinese. All over, you know. And it's a huge market for them. Okay. Korean bound. Okay, Stevie, I'm going to sign off for now, too. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks, everybody, for the chit chat. Sorry to go crazy on all this stuff. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of stuff on YouTube is, you know, exaggerated and embellished. So who's to say, you know, what he's really like in real life? He does what works, and it works really well. And I'm not going to sweat anybody else's hustle, but I should make a video and say how you know, a bunch of negative stuff about him, and then I'd get rich and famous. Joke. No, but when I made that video about Jasper, that really got a lot of attention. Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Especially if you know, start picking apart Catholicism. That's a big no-no. All right, Dan. Good to see you, man. I appreciate you stopping by. And thanks for the tips and the suggestions. Appreciated it as always. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. And same for everybody else here. Appreciate you all as always. And hope you have a great week. I'll be back next Saturday, same time, same place. And it was yeah, I do know what you mean. Yes, sir. And so hopefully, I went off on the COVID crap, and maybe I'll get my channel destroyed. So maybe you'll never see me again. I know it'd be a sad day, but I think I'll be fine. So come check me out again next week, and we'll talk about some more cool and fun and interesting things. So everybody stay safe out there, stay blessed. Think about helping other people here and there if you can. I know that you can. So hopefully you do. So appreciate the input, everybody. Adios, amigo. And we'll talk to you soon and see you soon. Take care.